we're going to get into this, we're going to address this notion of useful, which I think is at the heart of biomedical instrumentation design. It is at the heart of it, and yet sometimes the thing that is the most important is the thing that's most neglected in some ways. This is the meter that I brought from my house, right? This is the one I use with my boys, right? When we're concerned if they're sick or not. Let me see if I can get a reading out of it, right? It's currently reading right now, and let's see. It has, let's imagine, right, that it has this much precision in it, right? What does this much precision mean? It means that it might give me a reading of 38.2 or 37.3, but it will not give me any, it will not tell me that it's 37.34, right? Or 37.3498. It's not that that information isn't necessarily there. It's just what's on the display. And our definition of precision, as I've defined it, is entirely based on the display. I define precision as literally the number of digits on the display. That is the full definition. So if this is the display, the precision of this device is 0.1 degree. And therefore, as I'm measuring the temperature of my son, I don't know what his temperature is, right, to the 1,000th of a degree Celsius. And now we come to this question of, is it useful? Because, I don't know, this device here, were I to make a measurement, in fact, I can see, you can't see it, but I can, in fact, has this extra level of precision, right? It goes down to the 100th of a degree C. This is more precise than this. Am I being a bad father, right? And we all try, we do our best, okay? We do our best. Am I being a bad father by using this instead of this? More so, were the people who made this device, the biomedical engineers, irresponsible in making a device that only stops here? And of course, as I'm setting this up, you all already know the answer, right? The answer is no. Because this is not useful, right? This is already useful enough. But how do we know that? Right? How do we know that this bit of information is not useful? This is how. There's something I've left out here. Something that is essential. Something that comes after display. And that is a decision. Usually, a treatment decision. And if you want to understand if a device is useful or not, right? If you want to be able to say specifically what precision is appropriate or not, you cannot do that without understanding what the decision is. So let me give you the example of my decisions. My decisions are, for example, do nothing, right? And maybe go to bed relaxed, or stay up and worry, or get some children's Tylenol, or go to the emergency room, right? It's 9 o'clock at night, and my boy's not feeling well, and the last thing he probably needs to do is to get up right now and go to a bright emergency room, but I'm going to do that, no matter how inconvenient it is. That is a decision that I need to make. And this device is very useful to me, in allowing me to make that decision. And once I've phrased it that way, you, as biomedical engineers, can determine the appropriate level of precision. That decision is not going to be made based on 37.0 versus 37.0001, right? That decision is based on a certain level of precision. Yes?
There's something like temperature where a lot of thermometers have for both Celsius and Fahrenheit. Like this, for example, how it wouldn't really capture someone at 104 or 102 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So I'm curious if that's a consideration.
Say that again?
So like this only has the tens, the ones, and the
Oh, whether you would add an additional digit here.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, if you're going to Fahrenheit, you might add that additional digit. And depending on the display, it may be dynamic and you may lose, right? On Celsius, you may go here, and on Fahrenheit, you can imagine how it's adaptive. It's a great point. It goes back to usefulness. Clearly, clipping off a unit on this end is also not useful.
Well, my question is, and I think you kind of answered, they would adapt the display, right? They wouldn't like change anything fundamental about it.
It's a display issue, yeah. It really is. It's as naive as that. It is the display. When you go to the hospital, for all their fancy equipment, all the things they're connecting you to, every device must have a precision, right? If there's a heart rate monitor, right, it's not like 60.0000001 beats per minute. What is the point of that? That stops being useful. So when that decision is being made, or an oxygen meter, right? How precise is it is a very important decision. It is not an electrical engineering decision. It is not a mechanical engineering decision. It is a biomedical engineering decision because it relates entirely to what decisions are being made, right? And there may be a situation where we do want that extra point, right? Maybe, right? In some very intensive care situation, maybe we want that extra point. We're measuring some temperature inside the body and it really matters. So, entirely application specific, and I'll show you more examples of that. So precision, how much precision you need can only be answered once you understand what decisions are going to be made.